to the show. I want to give a special shout out to all the new subscribers out there. I hope you managed disappointment well. Today we're introducing a new segment called... I want to tell you about an actor I like called Robert Sean Leonard. He's a really underrated actor, and he's been in some things that I really enjoyed. Maybe his most famous role is Dr. Wilson from the show House. You've probably seen him before. But if you're more in my age bracket, old fogies, you know, you might remember him from the Dead Poets Society. Dead Poets Society in general is a movie that really resonated with me. It was all about making your life count and getting the most out of life and being excited about all the opportunities that you have at your fingertips and being aware that there's nothing in life you can't do. If you haven't seen it, absolutely look it up, go buy it, do whatever. Make sure you see that movie. It's probably one of Robin Williams' best movies. There's Ethan Hawke is in that movie. Robert Sean Leonard was also in a movie called Much Ado About Nothing, which was a really great adaptation of a Shakespeare play of the same name. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a really underrated movie in general. So what actors do you like that you think are underrated? Maybe they don't get the Oscar like DiCaprio or something like that. Maybe they just should be a bigger actor, you know, get more recognition than they do. Tell me. Write in the comments and we'll talk about it.
And?
Lately I've kind of been on a Subway meatball sub kick. Ever since I discovered that you can put the sriracha sauce on it. Sriracha. Ever since I found out you could put the sriracha sauce on it, it's been a really profound revelation. I highly recommend it. Make it spicy.
And?
Oh, let's see here. I've been writing new stuff with Postmortal, where it's going really good. They had a couple of songs worked out beforehand, but we're working on some new stuff, and it's really interesting. I'm adding my own bass flavor to it. We're working out the different, we're working out the interaction between the drums and the bass and how that's supposed to go in with the guitar and stuff. It's been pretty satisfying. Hopefully I'll have some videos for you at some point here. We have another new segment for you today, and it's called...
It's Mr. Nerdage time, it's Mr. Nerdage time.
Anyway, today we're going to talk about song structure. Song structure is one of the funnest things to experiment with in songwriting. There's been a lot of stuff that's done with it. People have gone back to the old classical thing of using sonata forms and extended forms and different recurring themes and stuff. Obviously, the more common thing is the sort of derivative thing of folk music, the verse-chorus thing. Personally, I'm a little bit bored with the whole verse-chorus thing. You know, I mean, obviously there's been lots of people that did great things with that form, but at some point, a person just wants to stretch out and try a little bit something new. Honestly, it's just really fun. I wrote a lot of music like that when I was first starting out, and personally, I have a saying, and I'll put it up here for you. This is one of Mark's maxims. There is no substitute for screwing around. Now what that means is really good experimentation and discovery happens when you're just interested in something. You're not even thinking about your approach super systematically, and you just try stuff. Obviously this is something that works really well in music, but there are a lot of things that this could apply to. Anything artistic, anything creative, and creativity can enhance anything you do in life. You know, obviously Steve Jobs never would have tried to do anything new in the computer world if he hadn't had creative thoughts that were driving him to do that, and that became a huge industry. So even things that we think of as being really mundane were birthed by creativity. For instance, John Rockefeller, he actually beat out a lot of his competitors by inventing a very simple thing, which is transporting oil through pipes. He created the pipeline. Now that's not a very, like, you wouldn't think that's just an earth-shattering idea, but it made him millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars and eventually made him the richest man in the world. But anyway, song structure. One of my things that I like to do is a great thing to add in a song is a really cool bridge. A bridge, for lack of a better explanation, it's kind of just an interesting part that's usually put in after the second chorus, but really, it can kind of be in there anyway, and a bridge is almost like a generic term for just that cool part in a song. I really love the bridge in Yes's song, And You and I. It's got that really amazing, spacey, grand, evocative keyboard part. It's actually, the sound that you hear in that is called a mellotron. One song that always stood out to me as having a really interesting structure is the song Tom Sawyer by Rush. Now, if you really listen and pay attention in this song, there isn't a verse and a chorus. There's just like a first part, a second part, and a third part. And in the middle there's sort of this bridge part, but considering there isn't even a verse or a chorus, it's hard to say what all these parts should be called, which is a very interesting place to be musically. Something I've done in my own music a lot is experimenting with the idea of recurring themes. Now, one thing I really love experimenting with is semi-recurring themes. I don't know if there's a technical name for this or not, but that's what I call them. It's when you take an earlier theme and change it a little bit and reintroduce it later. It kind of evokes the original thing, but it's like even more organic way of adding something new to that part. And a really good example of this is in Shoulder Angel. There's this part at the beginning that is like this really ethereal guitar thing. And then there's this big climactic thing in the middle, and this ending part, which reintroduces that original theme, but in piano and slightly different, in a different time signature.
You had me running from the beginning. You had me running as though the least of these would make it through. All I want is all the more of you.
And kind of a different mood in general.
And
The first step to writing is to write.
Connery bomb.
Well, anyway, that's it for today. Thanks to all the new subscribers. I really appreciate it. Stay social, stay LinkedIn. I shouldn't have said LinkedIn. Anyway, I'll keep making these videos and you continue to sort of enjoy them. From all of us in M3 land, see you